Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and to another one of my video commentaries. So, before I get into our today's pensive points, I must say this topic and other topics like it that deal with celebrities, I understand that some of you may get tired of it, but unfortunately, celebrities are the public. I don't want to say intellectuals, the public figures of our day, and a lot of politics is simply a reflection of the broader culture. And if you don't believe me, just look at the ascension of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to the halls of Congress. That's not a scary thought. That doesn't make you engage in some introspection. I'm not sure it will. Chelsea Handler, a celebrity who, if you didn't know before I just uttered her name, you have not at all been at a loss. You have not at all been suffering from anything. In fact, you've probably been better off for not knowing about her. Because that's how inconsequential and impish her thoughts tend to be on political matters. Chelsea Handler recently made waves by making a comment about her boyfriend, rapper 50 Cent. For those of you who don't know who 50 Cent is, he is a prolific American rapper, and he was in the news last week, October 19th, Monday, 2020, for saying in an Instagram Live video that he was not going to support Joe Biden and instead favored Donald Trump. Take a listen. Of course, as he mentioned in that video, he does this because he does not want to pay Joe Biden's outrageous tax rates. Indeed, the Joe Biden tax plan vows to raise taxes on everyone making over $400,000, which is way above the range that 50 Cent is in. And also, it vows to raise the corporate tax rate from 21% to 28%. It vows to issue a slew of payroll tax increases, estate tax increases, all kind of obtrusive, burdensome things, which will certainly stifle the growth of entrepreneurship in America. 50 Cent understands this. Chelsea Handler, however, used his race against him when she talked to Jimmy Fallon about why her ex-boyfriend was misbehaving. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Go.
You heard about my ex-boyfriend, right? 50 Cent and his support of Donald Trump.
Yeah, what's going on between you? I saw your tweets and I go, wait, what's happening? Because you said he was your favorite ex-boyfriend and then what does he do? He's supporting Trump?
He says he doesn't want to pay 62% of taxes, which, by the way, isn't a plan of Joe Biden's. That's a lie. So he doesn't want to pay 62% of taxes because he doesn't want to go from being 50 cent to 20 cent. And I had to remind him that he was a black person, so he can't vote for Donald Trump, and that he shouldn't be influencing an entire swath of people who may listen to him because he's worried about his own personal pocketbook.
So, of course, the outrage from the right, the righteous ire from the right, was noticeably predictable. Many people, including myself, immediately had the perception, hey, this is racist. But unfortunately, this does not go far enough. As the philosopher Emanuel Swedenborg said, there is an arcana, a hidden nature to language. Every use of language has two sides to it. And so perhaps on the surface, Chelsea Handler's sentiments seem evidently racist, and guess what? I think they are. But what lies beneath? There are things both seen and unseen, and Chelsea Handler is tapping into that which is unseen, which really is seen, but we subconsciously accept it in today's society. Indeed, what Chelsea Handler was really saying was that since 50 Cent was black, and the perception is that Donald Trump does not like black people and has done things to harm black people, a comment that is doubtful. Now, regardless of what you think about the current president, that is a doubtful comment, given the passage of the First Step Act and other initiatives, the pardonings, the clemencies for African Americans who were unduly and unjustly, illegitimately convicted of nonviolent crimes. I mean, regardless of what you think of the current president, it just seems a very odd claim. However, what is more odd, and perhaps not even necessarily odd, is the fact that Chelsea Handler is simply confirming the dominant ideas of our politics. Oh, you may be thinking, oh, Christian leftists think that racists do with everything. Yes, leftists tend to adulate race more, certainly. In fact, many leftists have race as a paradigm, as a lens for how they view the world. But people on the right do it as well, and not to engage in both sidism. But think about this. American politics is predicated on the backs of collective thinking. Whenever you hear a pollster, a Republican pollster or a Democratic pollster, talk about elections, they will oftentimes talk about, especially in certain contexts, the need to get the X demographic here vote. Oh, Joe Biden has the black vote. Donald Trump needs Latino vote. This vote, that vote. And hidden in those presumptions is the idea, or perhaps not so hidden, just evident in those presumptions, is the idea that demographics, since they go a certain way, they think a certain way, and also evident in that presumption is the idea that you can reduce voters to their demography. You can reduce voters to their arbitrary characteristics because of trends. So really, what Chelsea Handler was saying was nasty, it was illogical, it was irrational, but it is merely a different form of the kind of way we think of American politics today. Indeed, if you ever see a political writer or a so-called political philosopher who uses these terms, you will see they are engaging in the same kind of subconscious, identity-based thinking, which allows presumptions and comments like Handler's to be made in a wanton way without being corrected, or without being duly combated in the realm of ideas. Because these narratives are broad, they are accessible, and they are accepted. Ladies and gentlemen, if we want to challenge what we saw from Chelsea Handler, we ought to first challenge ourselves to understand voters, and more importantly, understand Americans as who they are in the core of their hearts, and that is individuals. I will not be appeased by a presidential candidate not knowing who Tupac is, or pretending to know who Tupac is, or not knowing who the latest rapper is, or claiming she has hot sauce in her bag. I will not be appeased by such pleasantries. I will only be appeased by that which radiates the political fire of truth, which confirms the principles upon which this country was founded upon. That is what shall appease me. That is what shall drive me and my passions to involve in political action and to involve myself in something higher than our current state. But I will not be appeased by what is mundanely called identity politics, but what is more deeper and should be more appropriately called soul-crushing pandering. It's not merely identity politics. It crushes the essence of our soul. Soul-crushing wizardry, even. Ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea Handler is simply a microcosm of the overall infection that plagues the body of American politics. So my question is this. Will you reject Chelsea Handler's not only racist, but identity-based and soul-annihilating comments about black individuals? Or will you pretend to reject them and then in the same breath begin talking about Americans and talking about voters as if they can be condensed into a single category and reduced to the sum of their parts? I know what I'm going to do. As the great Walt Whitman said, I do not care if I contradict myself, for I contain multitudes. And you best learn those multitudes if you're going to learn who I am, as both an American and a politically active citizen. Thank you guys for listening. I love all of you. Please comment, please like, please share this video on all social media. It helps me tremendously. I need your support because this message is so important. This message you cannot really get anywhere else, even amongst people who think like you. I promise you, no one's talking about politics at this level. So until next time, my brothers and sisters, I beg you, I beseech you, I implore you, stay pensive.